All right, we're back at it again.
Nice.
With another Nam Studios podcast session. Today we got Jasen Sweet
Here we are.
with Clover.
Yes,
And
yes.
you dabble in a couple of other things too.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
Clover has a couple different things, just personally.
Yeah.
I'm a father, love playing volleyball.
Okay.
And sports enthusiast and, love serving people.
Okay.
People are I think people and the relationships we have are probably the most valuable commodity besides time that we have. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to dive into a couple of those things that you said, but we met through our BNI. You're a new member
Absolutely.
of BNI Notorious Innovation over in the Comac/Dix Hills area. That's where we go.
Absolutely.
About like a month now or so.
Yeah, it's been a month, and there are exceptional individuals there that hold a standard to building connections. And, this is one, and
Yeah.
we're just seeing it. And over the last month, I've seen you do some brilliant things. It
Oh,
works.
thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
It
you.
works. So,
Yeah. So tell me, like, where you grew up, like, where you're from, where you grew up, like, how did you get to where you are right now?
wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
Tough question.
Not a tough question. How did I get here? Full disclosure, I'm a man that lives a life of sobriety. So, I have seen a vast amount of the world on both sides of it. Lacrosse saved my life at one point, and I was a lacrosse. I work for Lacrosse Unlimited retail. Love to be in the sport, and overall, life got a little rocky. Coming up on about 4 years of sobriety now, which is awesome. And, my personal mentor offered me the opportunity to jump on board with Clover. And it has been a great journey. And I still get to service individuals. And I get, the ability to work remotely. So I'm all over the place. So getting paid to be on the clock now. How about that?
This is marketing for Clover. You got the shirt on, everything.
Absolutely. You got to know a little bit about what I do. So it's been brilliant. There's a level of freedom when you actually get to move about the world a little bit more, opposed to being boxed in.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Are you from New York? Are you from the Long Island area? Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Brentwood. I have done the whole Long Island tour, Suffolk County tour, and have been thrusted into Nassau County.
Okay.
And currently in Manhasset, which is awesome.
Okay.
And, work with a community center now for, some underprivileged kids. And it is exciting,
Okay.
So just bringing the new standard to individuals, the kids around me, a new energy, and just being the best version of myself.
Okay, and what kind of community center, like, what do you do there with the kids?
We are starting a intramurals lacrosse program. My lady is an advocate for parents that live within our community if they need to build connections, hopefully better forms of communication with certain directors, and she's just the medium for that. And what do they say? Standing on business, though. Everything that I think I am, I get to represent, and I also get to hold that level of accountability as I move throughout my day.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And I want to go back to you talking about your sobriety. It's kind of interesting that you say that because, I don't know, I feel like the older I get, the more and more I'm running into people who haven't drank or, I'm assuming you mean alcohol, but it could mean a multitude of things.
100%.
Haven't drank or, gave up alcohol in a while. I know me personally, I am on a pseudo sobriety type journey myself.
Cool.
Last year, I really started this networking journey in 2022, 2023.
Okay.
And to a point where I was going hard. I was going heavy, and I was going to a networking event maybe 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
Which means that I was drinking multiple times a week because at these networking events, it's like, oh, have a drink. Even if it's one drink.
What they call mixers?
Yeah. Even if it's one drink a night, that's like... So I remember Christmas of 2023, I was just like, I just feel like shit.
Yeah.
I just feel like my body just hurts.
Dragging.
And it's dragging. And I think it was the alcohol. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stop drinking. So, it started with dry January. last year in January, and then I didn't have a drink all the way through till May
Okay.
when I went away. When I went away to the Philippines. And so, it's a special occasion. I'm on a beach, whatever. Okay, I had a couple of drinks throughout that stay over there. And then I came back and I stopped drinking too, except if it was like a really, really special occasion. Like I had a drink the night after I did the Fight for Charity in November of last year. But I was just like, you know what? This is New Year again. I didn't feel shitty last year. So I was like, let me see how far I could go. Let me see if I could go farther than May without having a drink.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's not me saying I'm never going to have a drink again. But if I end up going on vacation before May to a tropical place or I'm laying on a beach, I'm having a pina colada.
There you go. Yeah.
But, that makes you feel so much better, not having alcohol all the time. So talk about your sobriety journey and like what made you do it, because you touched on how you're a super athletic guy. So like being athletic and being sober go hand in hand, but it seems like it didn't go hand in hand at one point.
No, I love that you said like you make this choice.
Yeah.
Right. For some of us in sobriety, there really isn't a choice. We lost that choice of over the power to drink or to not drink.
Okay.
So it's heavy spiritual, heavy reliance on, a God of your understanding. And, the catalyst in it is a perception change. When you have, I don't know how everyone's found their way into recovery, but at one point or another, seeking that sense of safety through external entities and especially substances of any sort became a habit. And then, you become conditioned to utilize that as your sense of safety. And until it's not working. And you can go through the process of losing people, places, and things, right? And to the outside world, it looks like, this guy is the junkie or the homeless guy or this and that, but we never really understand that internal
battle.
So I can tell you, I was battling for a lot of years until I had gotten to a place where, I just didn't know. And it's so funny. We grow up, and you might have had this experience with family and our parents, and we're growing up, and they're like, what do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, I just don't know. And now I can be at a place where I don't know is actually an okay thing. And, I went and so I, had to seek some help. And that's where I fell into having a mentor. And it has been, a great journey of understanding me and, changing some of my thought processes. And it's definitely a lot less painful than doing what I was doing. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, off the bat, just meeting you, I would never think that. And that's just the crazy thing about it. Like how much like that could change and how much of a person it doesn't necessarily define you as a person. The person you were like 4 years ago or 5 years ago is not the person you are today. It's
actually my biggest strength and quality. I used to fear what the outside world would think about me in regards to saying I'm a man in recovery, right? To say that I've been homeless or, the things that I've dabbled in. And now living in my truth, it's like a badge of armor that and an expression and an example to anybody that might be having a shortcoming or a rough time that like it's possible, So I don't shy from it, I don't advertise it, but in common conversation, nah, man, I'm good. I don't drink. And if they ask me why I don't drink, I'm like, I'm allergic. So it's cool.
Well, that's what I've been saying now. Usually when I go out to a networking event or anything, I just have a salsa with lime. It looks like a tequila with lime.
Absolutely.
And if people are just like, oh, you want to drink? I'll be like, I'm good. I'm driving.
Driving. Tomorrow's another day,
I got an early day. I'm trying to go to the gym.
So,
talk to me about like your love for, you specifically mentioned volleyball and lacrosse. Do you join that that volleyball. There's
Long
a
Beach?
volleyball on Long Beach. I
Yes.
played once or twice last year. That shit is fun. I think I'm gonna do it
Yes.
again this year.
Absolutely.
But you're there on Long Beach.
I'm everywhere.
Okay.
I'm still a competitor at heart. If
Yeah.
I told you that anything saved me, sports were it.
Yeah.
Lacrosse was it, and volleyball is great. I'm finally understanding I'm getting older.
Gotta take it a little easy. Stretch beforehand.
Absolutely. And like volleyball is so gentle, it's so good. But
Is it? You think volleyball is gentle compared to others?
in comparison to lacrosse? Absolutely. And I still go out on the lacrosse field and I think that I'm 21 still and my body at the end is telling me otherwise, So between the two, it just gives me that outlet to nurture that inner child. Like sometimes I'm sitting on the sideline in between games and I'm like, I got a ball and I turn this volleyball into a basketball and I'm just happy to be in, this space of play.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times in life can you get to this space of play?
Yeah. Yeah. The older we get, the more I appreciate team sports.
Yes.
Like, being able to join that volleyball league during the summer at Long Beach, like wanting to do that, having someone say, hey, I have a pickleball league. Do you want to come down? Like having someone call me up and be like, hey, we're about to run the court, play some ball. Like, I love that now at my age.
Go play.
Yeah, I just want to play. Like that's literally, I just want to play.
Absolutely.
And it's so much fun. So like, how often are you like out there on the lacrosse field? I know during the summer you're on Long Beach, but tell me like what your day-to-day is with your activities and your fitness.
So generally it's a 5 o'clock wake up, 5:30 in the gym. That's a couple times a week. Fridays are volleyball in Glen Cove.
Okay.
So we play indoor currently. So
you need to get me because I'm coming from Queens. I'm right here.
Absolutely.
The studio's right here.
I promise you this Friday.
Play.
All right, that's a deal because this Friday we're definitely up and running. And lacrosse is in Massapequa, the Field of Dreams. Love that field. That's a 30 and over, 40 and over league.
Okay.
And a service league. So it's actually pretty cool. We got NYPD, we got FDNY, we have Suffolk County PD, Suffolk County fire departments there, and a couple other. We have the EMS squad that's there, and then my team, who's just a bunch of derelicts, I guess. We're not
misfits.
even. Yeah, we are because we're the only team that's not in the service. Yeah. So a bunch of dads reliving their glory days, and it is very cool. Like my kids are playing basketball, so once the weather is appropriate, we will be back out there just, pick up games. Which is like,
love those.
It's just really cool.
Yeah. One of the things that upset me the most is I'm a member of the LA Fitness here, but they took out all the basketball courts at the LA Fitness. I'm like, why?
You walk by it and you're looking at it and it's just a teardrop. Weird story about that. One day, I show up at LA Fitness, everyone's getting it going over there, and I'm like, I want on the court. So strap up, I get out there, and I'm like, I'm taking the tip off. And I'm like, all right, I'm at the line, and like, someone throws the ball up, and I go to reach for the ball and literally punch the ball with my middle finger. My finger pops out. It's all like literally sideways. And it's the first time I've ever had an injury where it was so visible. And I come down and I'm looking at my finger and it's like canted over here. And I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, pull it out. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you got to put it back in place. And like, it's still, you can tell the difference in my finger from that moment. And I will say, the last time I ever played basketball at LA Fitness.
Yeah, LA Fitness, we used to go hard over there.
Yeah, it's always some good pickups over there.
Yeah, I used to go hard. Oh, what an era. But tell me about your mentor, meeting your mentor in Clover, because I know that, that's what you push over at BNI. That's what you do on your normal day-to-day.
Yes.
So, and you said you met your mentor through your sobriety.
Yes.
And is it the same mentor that got you into Clover or asked you to come into Clover?
You can't make certain things up, so I remember listening to this man speak, and I'm like, I like this dude. Yeah. And I'm journaling, and I'm like, one of these things is like, should I ask Vinny to be my sponsor? And the next time I see him, he's like, you want to read? I'm like, yes. Like, I didn't even have to ask. I'm like, thank you, universe. This is great. And over the last 3 years, it's been, he is one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
He's someone I can listen to and let ramble. And when he called me one day and said, listen, if you're looking for a new opportunity, we have an opportunity with Clover, and I think you would fit. And because I have always had my ears open to this gentleman and his guidance, I said, why not give it a shot? And, he got me an interview, which led to 3 more interviews. And lo and behold, 3 months later, here we are.
Okay.
And, being a Clover representative is very cool. The way that I get to work intimately with a business owner to really custom fit their ways that they accept payments and also the ways that they grow their business is everything. Feel a part of the team, right? You and not going after like a financial gain to really understand their needs and what they're looking to create on this Clover platform, and how there are value-added services you can add, and it's fully customizable. It was awesome. Just like a lacrosse stick, I would have a person come in and, each player is their individual, and I get to custom tailor a lacrosse stick to meet that player's needs. It's the same thing that I get to do within Clover and with business owners and how they, run their business. So I love anything custom. It means that we can make it, we can make it... we can make it interesting. We can make it unique.
The older I get, the more I appreciate custom bespoke services. Like when I was younger, I'd be like, oh no, but like if you tell me I never have to go to a car dealership again, I can just tell a guy, this is the car I want, get me the best price. He gets it to me, emails me some paperwork, I sign it, and it's at my door the next day. Like, so here's a little Clover test I have for you, which probably would be good for your marketing, because I've been meaning to ask you this question as well.
Sure.
So, obviously I have the marketing and studio side of the business.
Correct.
And we use an online platform to, send out our agreements, send out our forms, if we need to do intake forms. We also use it for our invoicing. And so how people could pay, and then it just gets deposited to our bank account.
Gotcha.
Like, how do I integrate Clover like that without having to like get rid of that whole account? Do you integrate with like different other service providers and softwares?
100%.
Because you talk about like add-ons and stuff. So talk to me about that. Like, because I feel like that is the biggest, and you might be able to tell me otherwise, but that is the biggest hurdle, saying like, I've been with this platform, it works for me, I don't want to like...
Absolutely.
Because this is how I get my money. It's how I get my money, so it's just like, I don't want to mess with
my money. Absolutely. So for someone like yourself and the business that you run, sending out agreements along with... payment requests is something that we specialize with our virtual terminals. So a virtual terminal is going to allow you to do a multitude of things. It would allow you to post up QR codes on your website for, let's say, donations, or if some people are coming down for events, scan this QR code. It'll post up your link to your event, and it will give you a hosted checkout, which is going to allow you to submit your payment through Clover, which is going to be directly deposited into your account.
Okay.
And regards to clients that you're seeking to pay for services, and you can basically have an account set up for them, right, with their name, an invoice, and you can send them a payment link, which will go directly to their email. You could shoot it out to them, give them a call, say, hey, just wanted to let you know, check your email, the remaining balance on your invoice is available for you. You can submit your payment there. They can click it, enter in their information, payment has been submitted, and you will see that deposited into your account. Let's say, for a gentleman of yourself, you do studio sessions. Let's say you want a reoccurring payments, and they're going to do maybe 5 to 10 sessions. You've set the particular amount that the sessions cost. You can have reoccurring payments at a set date, which is going to allow you to have your hands off of that, right? You've agreed to this. It's coming out of this particular account at this set date, at this set amount. And, everyone's in agreement. So, we don't even have to have a conversation about payment moving forward. We really get to business. We could create some awesome music, content, and everything that you do great at Nam Studios.
Do you guys also deal with account holds? Because we've been thinking about getting into the rental space where people could rent some equipment and use it and then return it at a later date. But obviously that comes with making sure we have insurance and making sure they have insurance. But just like a hotel,
absolutely,
holding, there's a $200 hold on the hotel for incidentals.
Yes.
When everything comes back, everything is good, we'll release that. Do you guys
100%.
do that as well?
We do have a particular device that would do that for you. That we do utilize in hotels, where you can set an amount, it will hold the transaction, you can process the remaining of it through.
Yeah.
When you receive it, I do have some people that just do it in the form of taking an upfront deposit, and then you will finish the transaction after everything is returned. So, fully customizable. If you think it and you need it, we more than likely
customizable.
Have it.
That's the key word.
Yes.
Clover is customizable.
Absolutely.
That's what your tagline should be.
What's awesome about Clover that I like is that not only is it custom tailored, it's a forward progressive company. So certain entities, when you process with Clover as a business owner, you process with me for about 6 months. I'm going to also let you know how you can jump into cash advances, right? If you apply for something called Clover Capital through us, it's going to allow you to have a cash advance that you pay back through your processing. So you need a little, pick me up, or you want to expand maybe on, our equipment. I give you this cash advance. It's not like a loan where it has this crazy interest rate or anything like that. No more than 1.29 on the rate, and it's fixed, so it doesn't grow. What it's going to allow you to do is continue business as normal. We're going to take about 20% out of your daily processing to pay that back. And let's say you have a great day, 20% of that. Let's say you have a mediocre day, 20% of that.
But it
just pays it off over 6 to 12 months. And if you have paid about 60% of that off for you, you can opt into another one. But we want the business owner to grow. We want you to invest into small business is everything for us. We believe in the small business community, and we feel like we have the best service to offer you. Each business consultant genuinely cares, and we customize the product to meet your needs.
Yeah. How big are you guys? I feel like you guys are definitely in the realm of like Square, whatever. But
yes. We beat out Square.
Oh, you beat out Square.
I got to represent for us. We beat out Square.
I said, you guys are in the realm of Square. They're like, no, Square is in the realm of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Clover is our product. Fiserv is our company that we work for. It's a Fortune 500 company.
Okay.
We're on the New York Stock Exchange. We have trended up on the stock exchange for easily 7 years straight.
Okay.
And Clover as a product is forever advancing. We are upgrading. We are integrating new software to make things simple. If you have an iPhone, you can use Clover.
Yeah.
I love learning about what the new is coming for Clover. Because
awesome.
Then I get out there and I'm excited. And, people are always talking about price. But what price could you put on having advanced technologies that made your life easier?
Yeah.
If I say I get you back more time, would you say that the price is worth it?
Hell yeah.
All right. And that's what we want to do. We want to make things simple. We want to get you more time, and we want you to enjoy the process of being a business owner. We don't want to give you a headache. So.
No, that's awesome. So a while back, you had mentioned journaling. Is that one of the things that helped you get through stuff? Because I just started journaling. I didn't just start journaling. I've been journaling for like over a year. So
Nice.
I'm trying to make it more of a habit. I used to journal daily when things were rough. Now things, maybe I try to do at least once a week, once every other week. But yeah, talk to me about your journaling and,
Journaling, when the idea of taking that 10 to 15 minutes to have that freedom of expression, writing, or I have a journaling app on my phone.
Okay.
Uh, it's always an experience. We go through a tremendous amount of thoughts per day, um, professionally, personally, more intimately, and to be able to pick up the pen or, jot it down on our phones in the app and to watch the flow of thoughts, to watch the clearing of your mind, and to also utilize it as a timestamp. Sometimes I go back and I read it and I'm like, wow.
Well, yeah. Look how far I've come.
Yeah, or just how intimate it was, or I recently, within the last 4 or 5 months, have acquired transportation. Right, I got a vehicle. I used to take public transportation. I spent a lot of time on the train, and on the train, I realized the value of my time on reading and journaling was fantastic.
When I used to take the train and bus, like working in the city, sometimes, I'll go back and people are just like, oh, I'm glad I don't take the train and bus. Like, I'd be like, I kind of miss it. And they're like, why? I was like, I was able to read books. I was able to focus on my audiobooks or actually reading books. I was able to write. I was able to like just get thoughts out. Like that time traveling when you're not focused on like driving whatever vehicle it is amazing.
Absolutely.
And I miss that.
It was
honestly,
like more
truly.
time back on your life. It was it was like me time, moving from location to location.
Yeah.
And, carving out that time now to actually say like, hey, I'm going to take a couple minutes and journal. You have to be very disciplined, but it was very freeing and I have a couple of them. I'm glad that we mentioned it because I'm going to find some time to get back into it, but it's really cool to look at the thoughts and to just see where I was, right?
What's funny about that is I say the same thing. I carry my journal everywhere. It's always in my bag.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, I'm going to find time to do it. And then it'll be in my bag for like 2 months. And then I'll be like, but then one day I'll be like, you know what? But I like how you talked about discipline because I'm also a morning gym person. Past 2 mornings, I've been super busy. Like, I had a late night last night, so I didn't go to gym this morning. And then I had an early morning yesterday. Usually on Tuesdays, I don't get to go to gym because we have to be at BNI in the morning.
Yep.
So, but, just, you said 15 minutes, but just carving out that hour and a half to just go to the gym is extremely disciplined because you wouldn't, people could only imagine the excuses you tell yourself why you can't do it.
So bad. Like, if that alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, it's like slide out of bed, put your feet on the floor.
Yeah.
Don't think.
Yeah, because once you think, you're not doing it.
Don't think. Don't think about being tired. Just pick up the stuff, put it on. I'm a pre-workout guy, so start packing the stuff up and get there.
Have you? Are you a member of Masterclass that they have? It's like Netflix or whatever, but it's called Masterclass, and it's just classes. So there's a masterclass I was listening to about habits.
Okay.
And this guy they're talking about a whole episode, about hour, 70 minutes, about how to build good habits. And there's this one guy that was just like, habits have to just be built by consistency, right?
Yeah.
And so he said he needed to go to the gym, but he just didn't want to go to the gym. So how he built a habit of going to the gym was he made a habit of just getting to. If you just walked, he would just walk into the gym, and then he'd walk right back out and be like, "I made it to the gym today."
Gotcha.
And then he would do that he did that for like a week or 2 weeks straight. He'd just walk in, just appear at the gym, didn't do anything, and then walk out. After those 2 weeks, he got into a habit to the fact that he was just like, okay, I'm here, so might as well work out.
Absolutely.
But that's how you could create habits. Like, it doesn't have to start with saying like, okay, I have to go to the gym and do an hour worth of workout. It might be just setting your alarm, like you said, for 5 a.m. and getting out of bed. Just get out of bed.
Absolutely.
And like sit up, maybe you journal, make your coffee. And then once you're up at 5 a.m., that makes a habit. It's like, okay, now put your clothes on and get out the house.
Yes.
And slowly building that way. It's the little wins.
It's interesting how quickly you can fall into habits and how quickly you fall out of them. So that consistency word used to be, I used to hate the word consistency. It was everything that I wasn't.
Yeah.
You say consistent, and I'm like, I mean, I don't think you're finding my name by the word of the dictionary, you know, and now I just value the discipline that, you know, I can, if I commit to doing it, get there. I can be gentle with myself when I don't, and, you know, just give it your best. But as my brother would say, everything is everything is everything. You know, we are the sum of our efforts in all of the areas that we occupy. And
Lauren Hill.
yes, absolutely.
Lauren Hill.
And it's very important for me to, you know, check the efforts. You know, I really got to check my efforts everywhere that I am at, because, you know, it's just practices and disciplines, you know, practice discipline.
Yeah,
Like,
consistency and discipline, I feel, is the cornerstone to everything. Just keep doing it, and people are going to see it, and people are going to realize, like you said, I think you said something about 10,000 hours earlier, or maybe that was somebody else that said something about 10,000 hours. But it's just keep doing it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. And you start to love it. You're like, and sometimes you don't realize you're doing it. You're like, I just get up and go.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Awesome. Talked about, you know, your sobriety. We talked about your athleticism, your athletic life, Clover. Anything else you getting into?
New relationships.
Okay.
You know, the relationships from BNI, this journey here, and getting a full scope of your passion of what you do is a remarkable experience. You know, as I've transferred from sporting goods to merchant servicing, I am meeting a vast amount of business owners, and to see their passion behind what they're doing is one thing, but to meet the people, you know, to understand the people. We're fathers.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
A great understanding right off the bat, right? You know, it's we get it.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, when we first opened this up, the relationships and the people we meet are probably, you know, second to time, you know, the most valuable commodity that we have. So how we nurture that moving forward is probably everything. So I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah. Where can people find you? Where can people get in contact with you?
You can reach out to me. You can hit me up on my work line. It is 516-640-0781, jason.sweet@fiserv.net. I will have a social media platform ready. It's Mr. Sweet at Clover on Instagram, and we'll go from there. But I'm always readily available, and, you know, they can definitely reach me through you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you.